Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little disassembly for you of this little guy, which is surprisingly big. This right here is the Boos Blades Aero. This is a very interesting knife, and it's a very interestingly designed knife. So we're going to go ahead and do a disassembly, but we're also going to kick it up a little bit, do something a little unusual. Right here are a set of ceramic bearings. You can see here, they well, ceramic, obviously. They're just off the shelf from Alpha Knife Supply, but I picked these guys up, actually, with the help of the Boos, William Boos, the guy who makes these knife, to see what swapping those out will do for the action. So we're going to go on ahead and take care of that today as a part of this. So let's go on ahead and jump into it. I've taken this knife apart a couple of times now, actually, and this is just another instance of it. And so should be pretty straightforward. Free spinning pivot here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's life. At least it's tooled on both sides. Come on now. Here we go. Little bugger. So D8, D8, and just twist it the rest of the way off. There we go. That's popped out. Now I believe... Oh, this is D8 as well. This has this has an interesting optical illusion in that this screw head and this screw head are the exact same size. They take the same Torx bit, but they don't look like they should. So that's a fun little optical illusion to carry around in your pocket. And with that, the knife is disassembled. That was pretty straightforward, don't you think? Very nice. Simple construction. Let's just kind of do a quick little tour of what we got going on in here. We've got one scale here, and we can see that we've got internal screws to hold the clip on the other side. We've got a lock bar insert, which screws in using these two screws here. You've got yourself a detent ball, and the detent ball here is actually ceramic. And then we've got ourselves a... The lock bar inside actually serves as an over-travel stop along with the clip. You can see there's just this little tab right at the end here, which will catch if you try and push it too far. We have a pivot here. We've got a nice little bearing race in there. I'm not sure it's going to come loose, and I'm not sure I give a damn. And there you go. So we can just go ahead and start cleaning this little guy up here. First step is going to be to put a little bit of booze on the Boos knife. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Moving along here. We're just going to clean this guy out. Making sure to take some care here. Clean the inside. Not that it super needs it. The titanium is just titanium. One thing that is notably absent from this knife is the internal milling here. This knife could be made lighter with the addition of the internal milling. This is actually unique in that I've spent a fair amount of time talking to the maker on this knife. He offered to send it along for a review, which is brave of him to start with, but then we've actually corresponded, and I've gotten to ask more questions than I usually do about the knife, and that's actually been a beautiful thing, because I get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at it. But anyways, I can very much see that, or I am aware of the fact that he attempted to get this milled out on the interior, but well, the factory apparently gave him some trouble on cost or something along those lines, such that it didn't end up happening. You can see that it would be fairly straightforward to do that. It didn't, and that's kind of sad in its own way. But there you go. I'm going to clean off these bearings. Not that I really need to, because I'm just going to be swapping them out, but this is how I would do so. Anyways, one other thing that I want to highlight here while we're talking about the factory is you can see here, well, there's a beautiful detent ball ramp, which is nice, and I want to make sure that I've cleaned. But anyways, you can also see that they didn't actually mask off the detent ball path nor the bearing race when they did the blasting and stonewash or whatever the heck it is they did to this blade. That is completely raw. And that, to me, is kind of ugly, and that's a major factory screw-up. Had they done that, this knife, which is already fairly smooth, running on these bearings, would have probably been smoother. So, there you go. And finally, just wipe this off in here. So it looks like we're actually good to put this little guy back together. There's no sense removing this standoff here, by the way. It's there. It's happy. Okay, let's put the new bearings in here. These are just drop-in replacements for those of you playing along at home. It's a 0.187-inch ceramic bearing from Alpha Knife Supply, I'm told, FBCE 187002. But, yeah, so these are what Boos sent me along to give a try to. I'm also told that he ordered ceramic bearings originally, but that the maker of the knife didn't end up making the right purchase, and wanted a bunch of months in order to delay things if he switched back to ceramic. And that's pretty ugly. I mean, I got no reason not to believe the guy, but still. You know, he is of the opinion that this knife is better on ceramic bearings, so I'm really looking forward to checking this guy out on the ceramics. And it's something you can very easily do at home if you see the need. And we'll see whether I think you see a need. Well, whether I think I do, and in turn whether I recommend that you do. So right now I'm just lubricating the detent ball path a little bit here. I gotta say, this is a knife that is really broken in effectively. When I first got it, I really tightened it down and ran it dry for a little while just to make sure that I wore a nice groove into the ball bearing race, and you know, really tried to get it in an optimal condition. But there, that's too much. My little oil dispenser, and I'm using the 10 weight nano oil here. There were other oils in the sea, absolutely. And if you'd rather try something else, you're more than welcome to. But I've been appreciating it. And I think that's what'll run best. This lighter weight oil will be a beautiful thing, I think, on this action. Because this does have a very, very nice action. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it's improved, if at all, by the ceramic bearings. I'm going to go ahead and drop the stop pin in over here. There we go. Now it's in, and there's that. All right, the bearings are... Okay, this is scaring me, because right now I see two bearings here, and I'm putting the knife back together. So I'm just going to take these, and I'm going to put them in this little baggie. So I just stopped thinking about the fact that there were bearings in my field of view, because I'm a little paranoid about accidentally not putting all the bearings into knives these days. That's life beside the point, though. There we go. We're lubricated over here. Anything else I need? Nope, we're good. All right. One other thing I'll highlight here is that these, right here, this backspacer has zero middling or anything like that. It doesn't have a collar, which means that this is just sitting flush against the titanium. It's not actually a problem per se, but it does mean that you kind of have to eyeball the alignment a little bit more than on knives where you've got a collar there where it kind of drops into place. Not a huge deal, but it is something you'll want to keep in mind. I'm going to throw a little bit of Loctite on here, using the blue Loctite, as always. And let's put that on the screw here. There we go. Get that into rough alignment, then kind of roughly tighten it in there. And then this guy. Alrighty. So I've got this in position now. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite onto your pivot screw here. It's a little too much. There we go. And I'm going to try my damnedest to drop that screw in. Alrighty. That is the nice thing about a two-screw knife, is it's pretty straightforward to put back together. Alright, to do the final tightening, I may need the... No, actually, looks like I don't need the extra tool here. Let's see here. Oh, that is smoother. That's nice. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That is nice indeed. Check for blade play, zero blade play. All right, I'm going to back off the pivot a little bit and see if we can be even nicer. Zero blade play. Good centering. I'm going to back it off a little more, see if we can do that. And again, this is just the process of playing with the knife a little bit, seeing what I can do. Still no blade play. Centering is slightly off, though, so I took it a little too far there. No need to go too far. Here we go. Ah. There we go. Beautiful. So, ceramic bearings are in there. The action, I'll say, let me kind of get a sense for it here. I suspect these will wear in as well as with any, well, I don't know, bearings don't necessarily need to wear in, but sometimes there can be subtle differences in diameter, but so far it does make the knife a little bit smoother. And particularly on the closing action, it's not exactly a false shut knife. The lock bar tension is fairly high on this little guy, but it is still, whoa there, that's nice. It is still very nice, and there's very little rolling resistance on this guy. So, there we go. Beautiful. All right, so we've now got ourselves a Boos Blades Aero with a pair of ceramic bearings in there, and, well, a pair of races full of, I don't even know what quantifier to use there, but by God, I used one, so there you go. Either way, the Aero is now put back together. We can see that it is relatively simple and done relatively well, and we will do a full review coming on right up here on Saturday. Hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.